Okay. All right, guys. Let's try to keep this short and sweet this morning. First things first. It's Seniors Day. Well, actually, that's not quite true. First things first. It's game day. Second thing. It's Seniors Day. And before we approach the game today, I wanted to take a minute just to talk about some of our seniors. I see most of them in the front here with me. You guys like expecting something special today? Is that what's good? I'm going to start with Dilts here because he's closest to me. But I think you're going to have the most wins of any goalkeeper in STFX soccer history. Yeah, pretty good. Because I don't think anybody's started for as long as you have. I don't think anybody's been a 4-year started and won as many games as you have won. It's amazing. I look at Damo. When Damo first came here, he showed up here, I think it was 42 or 44 days before training camp in his first year, because he, in Damo's words, I wanted to be ready. And I first watched him. I said, "Man, you're going to need more than 44 days." I don't know if I've seen a guy. I've seen a few guys that have really, really, really worked. Like I back to Jamar Dixon and the work that he did here. I don't know if I've had too many guys that have worked like you to become the player you've become. He's been the best left back in the league, in my opinion, for the last 2 years. Some would even argue 3 years. He's so athletic, but he doesn't rely on his athleticism. He's got fantastic ball control ability. So, Damo, you've been unbelievable for us. And more than anything, I think, when I think about you, I think about the person you are. Kyle, I'm so glad that you came. And we nicknamed Kyle, as most of you know, I call him the octopus. Because he can just wrap himself around people with the ball. There's nobody can envelop a player like Kyle can on the press, and he's one of the best pressers I've seen. And not only that, does he press well, but then he also generates lots of points. So, and just a class act, absolute class act. Logan, I remember when I first started recruiting Logan, the first thing I didn't do was call Randy Ribeiro, because Randy was coaching down in London, and I knew the London guys were trying to get Logan south of the border, so I didn't want to tip the coaches off. And as a result of getting Logan, we got Diane Ville, because Diane Ville said, "Hell, if it's good enough for Logan Rick, it's good enough for me." And then I ended up hearing that again from Sam Barrow. Sam Barrow said, "Well, it's good enough for Logan, it's good enough for me." So that was really great. And then that London connection kept going, and through Randy, Will ended up coming to STFX. And I still remember the way that Randy described you as a player. And Randy's word, "Oh, he's springy, he's bouncy, he can really..." And I love that, and that's certainly what you are. You're really explosive. The example that he's provided for all players in terms of conditioning and strength work, his commitment, his adherence to becoming the best student athlete that he can become, and it's been wonderful. He's a grinder, and he's a guy that I know will keep on playing, and I know he's a guy that's going to make a big contribution. I could see Will going on in the game. You know, I'm as loyal as I can possibly be in this game, and I will always have your back, Will. So thank you. I look back there at Max Bedurtha, you know, and I remember when I started recruiting Max, every time I watched Max play, I would say, "Ooh, he'd be a great center back," and he wasn't a center back at the time. He was a midfielder, and his dad told me, "Oh, don't be afraid to put Max up front. He can score," right? And I believe him. I believe you probably would have been a good striker, but I'm so defensively minded that it just I couldn't do it. And then the fact that he has come as far as he has come, he is without any doubt one of the preeminent center backs in U Sport, without a doubt. And I think, You know, I think, Max, if you become with a little bit more physical prep, and you'll be a little bit more durable, you can go another level. I know that. I know you've got that in you. Luke Green is another guy. I remember when Luke came here, and the great thing about Luke is that when he came here, he was a good player. I mean, he had already played a year in the CPL. He was good when he got here, and Luke, you've just gotten better. Former All-Canadian, MVP of our team last year. We are so lucky to have you, and in particular to have the pairing of you and Max. I don't think there's a better pair in U Sports. I think we've got the best center back pairing in the country. I've said that many times to many people, but I believe it. Okay, I think it's the best pairing that we've got. I don't think I could overstate the importance that these guys have had in our team, right? So we've got a really good group of seniors, and I would say that this group, you know, this is one of the best teams we have ever had at STFX, ever. It might be the best team, okay? It just might be. So I want to thank you guys, and today is not your last home game at STFX. It's Seniors Day, but we get to host a tournament this year. Pretty special that we get to do that on your final year.